Hello. This is going to be a little intro and a bit of background information before we get started on the core content. I'm basically going to be going over a few basic things about the playthrough and the mod itself, so if you're not really interested in that, you can just skip forward a little bit. I don't know, maybe use it as ASMR or whatever. But just going to start from here. Go over what Tale of Two Wastelands is. It's basically a mod that ports over all of Fallout 3's content into Fallout New Vegas. And that basically allows you to experience both games as the same character, the same continuous playthrough. In terms of what this playthrough is going to be like, it's going to be a role-playing playthrough for the most part. I'm going to be role-playing through actions, dialogue, and introspection, probably an equal mix of those. My voice will not reflect that of my characters, simply because I don't feel like voice acting them. I'll still try to do like voice inflection and the like, and mannerisms when I can. I'll also be trying to thoroughly explore everything I can. Includes the game, mods, and DLC and all that goodness. I'm not going to be planning much in the role-playing department. Allow my character to develop organically, and based on the events that happen, trying not to overthink all of this and overplan it. I have a few critical mods installed that sort of change up the core gameplay progression in a pretty significant way. A few of them may seem extreme, but that's the sort of thing that you have to do to maintain balance across two different games with two very different design principles. The first one is a mod that increases experience requirements, and I selected the plugin for 200% requirement increase. So that means you'll need 300% the experience to level up. This is to help maintain sane HP and skill values. Basically, those two things are what would cause the mid-game and late game of Fallout New Vegas to be much easier than they should be. And I'm trying to help maintain things so that it's still interesting for me once I get into the Mojave. The experience gains from the quests in the Mojave are much larger than those in Fallout 3, so it should be decently counterbalanced. I'm going to be getting a perk every level. This is to help offset the experience gain requirements. This sort of backtracks on that a little bit, I will admit. However, it does not necessarily strike at the same balance problems that the HP and skills do. So having those few extra perks, twice as many technically, will help us flesh out our character and have a bit more fun in that regard. I do have a few mods installed that add more perks and traits, just for fun, help spice things up, help flesh out a character concept. I also have a few mods installed to add some more interiors for more exploration, more content I can do. Again, this is going to be a long burn, and I want to keep it that way. I also have a few mods installed for some lore-friendly quests. Not going to be very many in the Capital Wasteland, but if and when it comes to it, I'll definitely be adding more quest mods at the end of my Mojave playthrough. Basically at the very end of the playthrough, post-game, add a few more quest mods into there, just to see really how much fun we can get out of this. I'm also going to be following a few additional rules. These are self-imposed, no mods or anything involved. I'm going to be playing on the normal difficulty with hardcore mode enabled. The normal difficulty should pose plenty of difficulty, shall we say, when it comes to dealing with the enemies in the Capital Wasteland. They are quite tanky, hit quite hard, and would be considered mid to late game enemies for Fallout New Vegas. So definitely normal difficulty is enough. There will be minimum level requirements for certain armor types. We can wear light armor, any type, just straight out the bat. Medium armor will require a level of 11 or higher. Heavy armor, which does not include power armor, will require a level of 16 or higher. And power armor will require a level of 21 or higher, or 16 or higher if we have T51B power armor. That's specifically to help prevent the armor bloat that we could get really early in the Capital Wasteland and sort of break the difficulty from there. The last and probably most important part of this is I will not be allowed to use skill books, ever. There are approximately 25 skill books for the various skills in the Capital Wasteland alone. And if I were to actually use those, that would really increase all of my skills by around 30 points each. And that would make it so most of my skill games would actually come from the books and not levels. And since this is a role-playing playthrough where I don't really care too much about all the side skills, that I feel like that would definitely be overpowered and out of character for them to use. I would use maybe a set of alternate rules, but I've thought through it a lot, and everything I thought of would basically just be a nuisance to try and implement and try to remember. A little bit of information on my character. My character's name is Gideon. He is somewhat of a religious fellow, following in his father's footsteps, both literally and figuratively. He tries to uphold virtues, but will probably find that very difficult in the wasteland. He's definitely not evil by any sorts. He tries to lean towards good. If you were to put it into alignment terms, he'd probably be between the corners of true neutral and chaotic good. Somewhere in there, maybe chaotic neutral, maybe neutral good. Depends on how he develops, really. But as of right now, as of the start of the playthrough, he'd be in that middle cross between those four squares. In terms of character build, he's going to be focusing on intelligence. He's very intelligent, maybe not a genius, but definitely gifted. He's going to be focusing on explosives and stealth. My character concept was basically sort of like a sneaky demolition artist. Someone who gets into specific places and plants mines and such, and prepares then for combat when he has an upper hand, a huge one. In character traits, he's scheming, definitely. That's one of his main character attributes. He does it for both fun and revenge and a lot of different things. He finds it sort of to be a game, to try and get the upper hand on someone, to punish them for their wrongdoings to him. It's not necessarily stuff like, oh, I'm going to ruin your life, but it's an evolution of pranks into some more practical uses. He's very observant and tactical. He'd rather not fight directly on. That being said, he's definitely one to hold grudges. He does not like when people wrong him. He's also probably going to be very disillusioned with people and humanity as a whole when he steps out into the wasteland. This first episode, shall we say in episode 0, will contain our escape from Vault 101, from the time when we were born up until the time we turned 19 and finally got out of there. For just this episode, I'm going to be placing quite a bit of extra focus on explaining things to people who are unfamiliar to this setting or game mechanics. So if you're already aware of the Vault 101 escape sequence, maybe skip to the G.O.A.T or to certain role-playing spots, and maybe just, skip to episode 1 from there. However you want to do things, however you think it fits. But this is made for all sorts of people. Although I bet the veterans might be a little bit bored with this episode, but who knows? They might like it. So I will be explaining like the core game mechanics and all that, and a few did you knows about the game as well. But with that all being said, I think we're ready to start the playthrough. Alrighty, so here we are in Fallout Tale of Two Wastelands. Have the title right here. We have images from both Fallout 3 and New Vegas playing in the background, so this is definitely installed. We're going to start a new game. We're going to load into the Capital Wasteland, of course. I'm going to let the intro here play. I guess a little background about me. Fallout 3 was my first experience with, I guess, modern video games in general. I got it on the PS3 not long after it first came out, and I sort of instantly fell in love with it. I love the exploration aspect of it, not too much of the role-playing, but honestly, I find the gunplay in Fallout 3 to not be as bad as people say it is. Sort of like this sort of combat and exploration and loot gathering, roped me in immediately. Which is kind of weird, because I'm not the biggest fan of Fallout 4, and that's the sort of stuff that it emphasizes. But regardless, in general, I find the Fallout series to be probably one of my favorite of all time. Yeah, this is my intro to role-playing games, but I didn't really necessarily roleplay that much or really interact with the themes of the setting themselves so much as I appreciated the sort of background and complexity and uniqueness of it. Post-apocalyptic settings were completely new to me, and so this game just felt extra unique in that way. But here we are.
War. War never changes. Since the dawn of humankind, when our ancestors first discovered the killing power of rock and bone, blood has been spilled in the name of everything from God to justice to simple psychotic rage. In the year 2077, after millennia of armed conflict, the destructive nature of man could sustain itself no longer. The world was plunged into an abyss of nuclear fire and radiation. But it was not, as some had predicted, the end of the world. Instead, the apocalypse was simply the prologue to another bloody chapter of human history. For man had succeeded in destroying the world, but war never changes. In the early days, thousands were spared the horrors of the Holocaust by taking refuge in enormous underground shelters known as vaults. But when they emerged, they had only the hell of the wastes to greet them. All except those in Vault 101. For on that fateful day, when fire rained from the sky, the giant steel door of Vault 101 slid closed and never reopened. It was here you were born. It is here you will die. Because in Vault 101, no one ever enters, and no one ever leaves.
We're going to have a few mods load here. I don't think it's going to be that many.
Let's see. Are you a boy or a girl?
And immediately we're introduced to our father, Liam Neeson, also Dr. Oak, as it seems. We are a boy. Professor Oak.
It's a boy. A boy. We've got a son, Catherine. A beautiful, healthy baby boy.
Oh, oh, James, we did it. A son. A beautiful son.
You've got a bright future ahead of you, son. I'm sure of it. Look at you. Look at you. Hi there. I'm your daddy, little guy. Daddy. You're going to need a name, aren't you? Your mother and I have been talking. What do you think about...
Okay, so I do have a name picked. I'm going to make sure I check real quick, make sure I'm spelling it right. A second here. Okay, that is the correct spelling. Our character's name will be Gideon.
That's a good name, don't you think? Fits you perfectly. Looks like they've finished the gene projection. Let's see what you'll look like when you're all grown up.
The name Gideon is one that is biblical. If you're aware of, the Bible lore, shall we say, then you might know a bit more about that name. See how it does or does not fit the character. Especially if you know the themes of Fallout 3. But we will check here. Design our character. Now, I do have an aesthetic picked out, and I think I'm going to follow that. Because I think it looks nice. I think it was preset 3? Yes. We're not going to customize the face here because that's too detailed for a face model that will look probably pretty disgusting regardless. Something to note here, we can change our sex immediately. I'll do that real quick. Oh no, I messed up it. I goofed it. You can change our sex immediately. And we can also change our age. Despite us canonically being 19. So maybe we mutated or something, and that's how you roleplay being 19 and looking like a 60-year-old. But, no. We're gonna do this, make our character look as young as possible, because it's the only way it makes sense. We will change our hair. For this, I think clean cut makes the most sense. And facial hair. I think it was down here somewhere. I think Grizzled Samurai was pretty close. Let's check, make sure I have it. Renegade was pretty close. Nah, I think Grizzled Samurai might actually be the best here. That actually looks sort of like my facial hair if it were actually filled in and less patchy. I just realized that.
You're going to look a lot like your dad. See that, Catherine?
Oh, oh.
Now he says that his facial model will change to match like the race and general appearance of our character.
Son, full of all sorts of people. What about you? What kind of person are you going to be?
Okay, so here we have the traits menu. Traits did not exist in Fallout 3. They do in Fallout New Vegas, and usually you pick those at the start of that game. But the mod authors found a very brilliant way to just slot in the traits menu here. Usually, character creation cuts out immediately after that question, but now we have a new menu here. I'm going to scroll down. Some of you may realize that Wild Wasteland is no longer in the traits menu. It is not missing. It is baked into the game now, so we will be able to experience Wild Wasteland when it pops up in New Vegas, of course. There are no Wild Wasteland events in Fallout 3 because there are no traits. We do not have to pick a trait to get Wild Wasteland. That's just going to happen. And so that gives us 2 traits to pick from a list of things that will actually affect our character, which I think is fun. So small frame makes sense here. The +1 agility, but your limbs are more easily crippled. He's a small guy, but we'll go through the list again. Not ranger, near-death experience. This does make sense for him, I think. He is a sort of a thrill seeker, a schemer, if you will, and he'd start to get a bit more active, and he has a strong survival instinct, so I think this would make sense to pick here, but I'll go through them so you can see all the new ones here. Kamikaze might make sense. Well, at least in terms of survival instincts, not in the terms of the actual energy behind hot-blooded, I should say. You target. Good-natured. Okay. Yeah. I think there are only really 2 options here. There is small frame, which is not going to be great considering we're heading towards being an explosives character, but I think it'll make things more interesting. And we will also choose near-death experience. Now, these are both traits that I imagine any experienced Fallout New Vegas or even 3-player will find to be bad, but I think they will both be fun to play with regardless. They're both thematic, shall we say.
You're just...
James?
Catherine?
James?
Catherine! She's in cardiac arrest. Start compression. Get the baby out of here. Move! Move! 1,000. 2, 1,000. Come on. Hang on, Catherine. Hang on.
Okay? You won. We need a doctor, not a deadbeat. Failed to meet my expectations.
You are now
Don't
1 year
look
old.
straight into the light, pal. You'll hurt your eyes. It's just something you get used to, Dad. Come on over here, son. Come on. Walk to Daddy.
You're now a child. All right.
Over here.
I think we'd grab the teddy.
You
This
can
will be
do
our
it.
friend.
There you go. My goodness. Just a year old and already walking like a pro. Your mother would have been so proud. Listen, kiddo. I know you don't like it when Daddy leaves you alone, but I need you to take care of yourself for a minute. You just stay here while Daddy runs to his office. You'll be okay, pal. I'll be back in a bit.
Is it just me, or does his character model look like so much better than everyone else's in the entire game? So try to remember that to compare it to. I'll think you'll notice a big difference. But here we are. Our mission is to read this book. We are literate. This is the special book. This is where we will assign our special score, which is basically our core character attributes. I'll read through all of these before I assign any points. So we have strength. S is for strength, and that means I'm strong. I can carry more toys and swing stuff all day long. P is for perception, a long, funny word. It means what I tasted, smelled, saw, and heard. E is for endurance, and that's how long I can play. I'm always really healthy and have energy all day. C is for charisma. It's why people think I'm great. I make my friends all laugh and smile and never want to hate. I is for intelligence. It means I'm really smart. I use my brain for lots of stuff like science, math, and art. A is for agility. That's how I get around. I move real fast and easy, and I never make a sound. L is for luck, and it's simple, you see. It means that good things always happen to me. Okay, let's assign all of these. We have 5 points to assign. We could get one of these up to 10, but nah. So, again, small build. I think dumping strength a little bit makes sense. Just a touch. He's a smaller, but he's not a wimp. Perception? Do we want him to be do we want him to wear glasses? He doesn't have the trait for glasses. Huh. Glasses in the games do generally give +1 perception. Anyway, so normally like the trait for 4 eyes would give you -1 perception normally, but no. I think we're gonna leave it at 4 here. I think that makes sense. As for endurance, we're gonna be a little durable here. Charisma, we're gonna be a little charismatic here too. Intelligence, that's our core attribute. And for me, something I noticed strangely is that for intelligence, it references art. Like intelligence, uses art. I'm sorry, art uses intelligence as an attribute. I don't think you ever actually make art in a Fallout game, but more importantly, the point I'm making is that for me, art doesn't necessarily have to do with intelligence. Like every art teacher I've had has been like someone who's like super charismatic, honestly. I've never had like a Da Vinci art teacher, but that just might be personal experience. But regardless, our character is gifted. Perhaps not genius, but pretty darn close. And we have 2 points now for agility and luck. He is a schemer. I imagine he would be decently lucky in having to just, not be caught. If he had an intelligence of 1, he'd naturally be caught every time sneaking into any place just through sheer coincidence. But I think normal luck and him actually using his skillfulness to achieve his goals would make more sense. Agility does influence sneaking in addition to the sneak skill, if I do recall. Alright, let's look at that array here. Yeah, I'm liking the look of that. Usually I like to have 7 endurance for reasons that will be made clear at a later date.
You are quite the little explorer, aren't you? Serves me right for trying to pin you in. Come on over here. I want to show you something.
Our
See,
character would probably love
there's your
cars.
brother's favorite passage. It's from the Bible, Revelation 21:6. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. She always loved that. All right, come on. Let's go see if your little friend Amada wants to play.
Yeah, like I was saying, Gideon would probably love cars. You find like the mechanics very interesting. But we are going to see Amada, presumably our childhood friend, also 1-year-old.
Surprise!
Stanley, you turned the lights on too fast. You blinded the poor kid.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Can you believe it? He is growing up so fast.
Happy
Ooh.
birthday, pal. I
We got
can't
frame drops here.
believe You're already 10.
This is something predominantly due to
Congratulations, young man.
being a
I
child.
don't have to tell you how
specifically.
special this day is, do I? Down here in Vault 101, when you turn 10, well, you're ready to take on your first official vault responsibilities. So here you are. As overseer, I hereby present to you your very own Pip-Boy 3000. Get used to it. You'll be getting your first work assignment tomorrow.
Enjoy your...
Okay. I'll mention just really quickly, again, the frame drops here should not be indicative of the rest of the game. From what I can tell, being, in the actual Wasteland runs much smoother. Even, like, just after this scene specifically, everything runs smoother. When we were a baby, we actually had the character model of an adult just shrunken down a lot. So somehow our character model of being a child like ruins some of the physics in the game and makes things run slower, but it's a very temporary issue. You shouldn't worry about it.
Party. You're only 10 once, so have fun.
Happy birthday! We really surprised you, didn't we? Your dad was afraid you were onto us. But I told him not to worry. You're so easy to fool.
And here we have Amata, childhood friend. Friendly. Friendly. Okay, we have a few options here. We can pretend to not know, to lie. Or, no, pretend that we did know, and that would be a lie. I do like how there is a brackets to specifically say that it was a lie. Although, maybe it would be nice every now and then to have the option of lying or not lying with the same dialogue. I don't know. It maybe like he would have figured out through his general sneaking and snooping. We can also compliment Amada for this great party we have here, or we can act a little stuck up and greedy about the quality of our party. I think he'd pretend to not know. You didn't fool me. I was just pretending to know. I was just pretending to not know.
You're such a liar. Okay, if you're so smart, what did I get you for your birthday?
Okay, we're caught in the act here. We can admit it. We can see if it was, or guess that it was a date with Christine Kendall, which I think is in this room, actually. Or I can just say, give me the damn present. Nah. I really have no idea.
Ha! I knew I surprised you. Who's your favorite barbarian? That's right, Grognak. Issue 14. And with no missing pages. I found this in a box of my father's old things. Believe it or not. Imagine him reading comic books. I guess everybody was 10 once. Well, I better let you get back to mingling with your guests. We'll talk later, okay? Happy birthday.
Okay, Grognak the Barbarian. That is an 8 item, meaning it is consumable. Now, a thing to note, this is, like, in lore, a magazine. It's a comic book. However, the game classifies it as a skill book. It usually doesn't do that, classify magazines as books. I think this might be the only one that does it, with maybe one or two exceptions. But since this is a skill book, we're not going to be using it because self-imposed rules. Again, too many skills would be gained from actually consuming any of these books, and I don't see a way where I can just like limit myself without it being like mentally it wouldn't be like a load on the back of my mind to have to worry about. So I'm actually just going to drop this. Well, this will prevent it from reappearing later if we drop it on the ground now. Also check weapons. I'll do a quick rundown of the Pip-Boy here. Yeah, we're going to get pop-ups here, of course. We have a jumpsuit. We can remove it, but I'm not gonna because it's weird. Ammo. Different ammo types that we will experience in Fallout 3 that didn't occur within... Well, they usually don't appear in Fallout 3, the different ammo types. This would just be a list of the ammo you do have as opposed to the different types of ammo you can equip. But generally, if you're comparing the way weapons work in Tale of Two Wastelands, armor-piercing rounds would be about equivalent to how combat works in Fallout 3. Like, armor-piercing rounds would be approximate equals to regular rounds in the actual Fallout 3 game. We have stats here. Condition, our body, radiation, how much radiation we have. Radiation 10 resist. Don't know where that's from. No status effects. That would have been like addiction, alcohol, broken wounds, active chems, that sort of thing. Special. This is what we just did. This is a nice setup here. Agility, I don't know where that one agility... Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. That's from our perk, small frame. Now, I'm not sure if small frame counts for increasing our special for the sake of accessing more perks. Because there are perk stat requirements. I'm not sure if that contributes. I think it does because it's an 8 instead of like an 8 with plus near it. So I think that does actually count as 8 for perks we can get later on. You have our skills here. We'll worry about that later. General, this is like, yeah, stuff we have done. There's a lot of different stuff. We are neutral because we are a child. Have not developed as a person yet. Data, local map. This can show us a local map of like the room we're in or the nearby terrain. It's very limited in use. Like, this is probably my least used tab. Aside from maybe like the ammo, because there's an easy way to change ammo types. World map, this will be very useful later. We have our quests here. We completed baby steps, and we are now on the next quest to enjoy our birthday party. We have challenges here. A lot of different possible challenges here. And we have the Vault 101 PA system, which I do not think has a use as of.
Nice party.
Something spooked me. Alright. We're good. Okay. We can talk to our guests here. That is the goal. It specifically points us to old Lamey Palmer, but we'll talk to everyone.
Nice party. Andy,
Oh.
Oh no.
Come to think of it,
Allow me to wish you a happy birthday. I would offer you a piece of cake, but
come to think of it,
I told you not to
I
ask
don't
all
think
the
you
pictures.
ever
I
actually
know
get
you
to
were
eat
joking,
cake
but
in a
not
Fallout
today.
game.
Nice party.
Except maybe in Fallout 76.
Always enjoy my little speech.
So that was a bit of a tease there.
Happy birthday.
Let's talk to everyone. Stevie Mac, I don't know who this is.
You should
Happy
try it
birthday,
sometime,
Sonny.
Daddy.
Yeah,
You might like
I
it.
got one.
And everyone's talking at once in,
Super cool,
you know,
right?
actual Fallout 3 fashion.
I hope you appreciate the effort Amata put into this party. She really seems to like you, for some reason.
Of course she likes me, or she did a great job, but couldn't she have helped out a bit more? Would we sass the authority figure at 10 at our own birthday party? I gotta think about this one. Establishing character as a child, I think, is quite important for being indicative of the future here. Of course she likes me. I'm a really charming guy.
Don't presume too much on her friendship, young man. I'm still the overseer, and I'm still in charge of this vault and everyone in it.
Do you think we could try
Of course.
I'm sure of it, Amata.
We have old Lady Palmer here.
Are you having a nice party? 10 years old. My. Seems like only yesterday that your daddy came. Goodness, listen to me ramble. You're waiting for your present, aren't you?
Oh, he would eagerly accept any presents that would be put in front of him, so that middle option is not applicable. Do not be that rude. Yes, ma'am, I'll take any present you could provide. Anything. Even a quarter.
Such a nice, polite young man you are. Don't ever lose your gift to speaking your mind so directly. We could use more of that down here. Here you go. A nice sweet roll that I baked for you just this morning. And it's all for you. You're the birthday boy. No sharing required today.
Thing.
I
Now
think
go
that
on.
part about directness we might incorporate into the future of our character.
Thanks for coming, Stanley. I know you
He's
were
a schemer, but maybe he
busy
might talk to
fire.
people directly.
Everything's fine,
Tell
I
him
hope.
what's going on.
Oh,
That
sure, nothing
sort.
to worry about. Me and Andy got her all fixed
You
up
have
again
Butch
last night,
here
good as
and
new.
Wally Mack
I
and
wasn't
Paul
worried.
Hannon.
You can
This party's pretty good, I guess. For a little kid. Balloons, party hats. Not as cool as my party, though. Remember how my dad got Andy to do magic tricks? And we all played Hunt the Mutant in the atrium? Oh, right. You weren't invited to my party. Too bad, man. It was really fun.
I'm hungry, and that stupid robot destroyed the cake. Give me that sweet roll you got from Old Lady Palmer.
You wouldn't give it over willy-nilly. I mean, it's basically like, I mentioned a cinnamon roll without cinnamon? Maybe with cinnamon? Maybe with a different flavor, but this is a vault. We don't get those things very often. Not gonna give it over now. Not gonna try to justify anything here. He's probably not afraid of Butch. Not gonna spit on his own sweet roll either. Go soak your head, Butch. I'm not giving you my sweet roll.
Oh, yeah? We'll see about that.
It's anything, right? Anyway, I'm glad you could make it.
Bring him straight to Officer Gomez.
Leave him alone.
Palmer. I helped
You
with
all
the
right, son?
decorations, you know.
He didn't hurt you, did he? I hope Butch didn't hurt you. You want to tell me what that was all about?
Okay, this is the gripe with Fallout 3 dialogue. Like, you can be a hardcore goody two-shoes, and you can be, like, mostly apathetic and just information-based. You can't be in between. You can't just be, like, sort of friendly without being, like, a complete goober. I'm not gonna blame it on myself. He tried to take my birthday present.
Why, that little... I figured it was him that started it. He's been nothing but trouble since the day he was born. You let me handle this and try to stay out of the way.
Oh, really? They're lovely.
Shows how smart you are, Wallace.
Okay.
Splendid.
We'll take a party hat now.
What's Butch's problem anyway? I can't believe he tried to start a fight at your own birthday party. What a jerk.
The jerk tried to steal my sweet roll.
God, he really is a butthead.
The
Oh, well.
butthead.
You can always count on Butch to make an ass of himself. Get it?
Nice party.
It's actually a pretty good one. We're gonna eat it now. Wait, where is he? Where'd he go?
Hello, Officer Gomez.
Oh, he's on that side now.
You could make it.
We're gonna eat it right in front of him.
I'm glad to be here. I think
There
it's
we go.
important to keep in touch
Follow
with
him.
young people.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. Really cool party and everything. I know that, Butch and I give you a hard time, but you don't take that seriously, right? Anyway, happy birthday and everything. I better get back to, you know.
People, you know,
Now,
it's part of
his
the job.
pseudo-politeness will not last long. The context here is that he's probably being corrupted by
Thanks again for coming.
the bad folks here.
Happy birthday, dork.
Specifically Butch, who is
Party, huh?
a violent wannabe gang member, and Wally Mack, who's just sort of a dick.
I got some homework
Hobby's
I need to
open.
finish, you know.
Whoa, that's your hobby?
Yeah, okay, I would eat that. I'd still eat it.
What to name our game?
Fistfuls even.
How do you like that Pip-Boy, son? Fit all right and everything?
Now let me think about this. How much would he appreciate this presumably older looking Pip-Boy? He probably wouldn't have been allowed to touch his dad's Pip-Boy, at least due to the fact that it's constantly on his arm. But I think he'd take an interest in the technology. It's really cool. Could you fix it up for me?
As a matter of fact, I did. I'm glad you like it. Some may think the A series is a bit basic, but I've always preferred them for their reliability.
Which will be useful. Thanks, Stanley.
Don't mention it. Oh, yes, I almost forgot. Happy birthday. Not much, but I hope you like it.
Stay for a bit. It'd
the
be
vault
lots of
games?
fun.
He's the resident mechanic who
You
also
really are
operates
someone
Andy
smart,
here.
aren't you?
And he gave us a hat. The party hat is no longer important to us. You know that if you were a child who just turned 10 and you were given a baseball cap for your birthday, it's huge. If you were given a baseball hat for your birthday, you would wear that thing nonstop for 3 days straight and then probably forget about it for like 3 weeks until you went into a park or something. It'd probably be lost in your room on a shelf or something.
We're all set down here. Thanks. I'll send them right down. Hey, that was Jonas on the intercom. He and I have been cooking up a little surprise present. Jonas is waiting for you downstairs on the reactor level. Go ahead. I don't think anyone will mind if you slip out for a few minutes.
I think most of the people here would appreciate it, actually. A good 50%.
I can't believe you didn't like Hell's
Let's actually read this.
Better than anything you
Seek
guys
the
did.
sunshine of friendship.
I never said I didn't like it.
We're all
I
in this
just haven't made up
together.
my mind yet, okay?
Happy
Hey,
birthday!
Hard work is happy work.
Happy birthday,
Oh
dearie.
my god.
My goodness. I hope I didn't miss the party.
Yeah, they threw a pretty great party, didn't they?
They sure did. My. 10 years old already? Why, I can remember helping your dad change your diapers. And now look at you, a great big grown-up 10-year-old with your very own Pip-Boy. Since this was such a special occasion, do you know what I did? I wrote you a poem, just for you. I hope you like it.
He knows better than to sass talk adults, but also he was given a poem for his 10th birthday. Thanks, I guess. Did you get me anything else?
Don't be silly. 1 poem per birthday, that's my rule. If I gave you 2, think how jealous Butch would be.
Lobby's open. Whoa.
Hard work
that's
is
your
happy
lobby?
work. Have you taken your medication
Give me an
today?
idea for what to name our
Happy
game.
birthday!
Isn't your
Interesting.
gang a little
If that's
stupid?
on the PA system, and it's not just something
Be in it.
they put on there for, like, Old Lady Palmer or whatever,
Oh my goodness.
that may imply that vault dwellers are expected to take some form of medication. Maybe just, like, vitamins or something, but still, that could be interesting bit of lore. Achieve perfection. Yeah, I've never read this before. Wait. Little details
Go
you
on.
find.
Jonas is waiting for you downstairs.
Yeah, everything's locked. You can tell from the red signs if something's locked or not. Except for...
Sounds like everybody's having a good time in there.
Yeah, very hard. I doubt there's anything behind that door. I bet on my life that the map just stops behind that door. There's no possible way to get that open.
What are you doing down here, young man? I thought kids weren't allowed down on the reactor level.
Ooh. Can it, Jonas? Where's my surprise present already?
Oh, I see. Now that you're 10, you're all business. Well then, mister, we'd better get to it. Happy birthday, by the way. Hang on 1 more minute. I think I hear someone coming.
The best part about Jonas's character is that he gives you sass no matter what you pick. It's great.
Are you ready for your surprise?
I'm kind of surprised.
The Overseer gave you your Pip-Boy, and you're old enough to do some work, so I figure you're old enough for this. Your own BB gun. It's a little old, but it should work perfectly. Jonas found it down here. It was in pretty rough shape. Took us a good 3 months to find the parts to get it working again. You know how tough it is to find a spring that small? Good thing Butch misplaced that switchblade of his. So, what do you think? Want to give it a try?
He might say this in a sarcastic manner. What do I get to kill?
Easy now. It's only a BB gun, but it's not a toy. Let's go try it out. Jonas and I have found a nice spot for you. Follow me.
I think we ought to equip that. Yeah. It's funny because they say it took them 3 months to get it working, which means this must have been in such terrible condition that it took, like, a doctor/scientist and his assistant to get it working.
You can come down here and shoot anytime you want.
A shotgun would have been nice. This is great, thanks.
Couldn't have done it without Jonas's help. You make sure to thank him.
We will do so.
Happy birthday, buddy. I hope you have fun with it.
Okay. Could you give me a real gun? Thanks a lot, Jonas. This is really cool.
Hey, you don't turn 10 every day. Now go on and let me see you shoot something.
Fun thing to note, I did a recording of this and decided that I needed a better mic because the audio sucked. And I didn't even realize that you could actually thank Jonas. Or I didn't even realize that Dad hit that bit of dialogue and it led to anything. But here we are. Can aim. Something's strange here. Figure that out later. We should have iron sights, but specifically for the BB gun, it doesn't have them for some reason.
Think you can take care of that with your BB gun? Just aim and shoot. You'll be fine.
Yeah, we are very bad at this. We are on normal difficulty.
Good work. That's one less rad roach to deal with. Let's get a picture together. Capture the moment. Hey, Jonas, get a picture of me with a big game hunter.
I think this might be due to child physics. A lot of things are breaking right now, and I'm kind of scared. You're now 16 years old.
As far as I can tell, you're a perfectly healthy 16-year-old boy. So yes, you have to go to class to take your G.O.A.T exam. Go on now. You've got a G.O.A.T to take.
Anything I need to know about the G.O.A.T?
The Generalized Occupational Aptitude Test. G.O.A.T. Everyone here in the vault takes it when they're 16. Helps to figure out what sort of a job you'll have here in Vault 101 when you get a bit older. So, pay attention and try not to fall asleep. You know what the Overseer says? We're born in the vault, we die in the vault. Each is tested to determine their abilities, that they may work for the betterment of all vault residents. Huh. Sound familiar?
Do we have to die in the vault? Can't we ever leave?
That's not the way it works. And it won't do to go around asking questions like that. Especially not around the Overseer. I want to tell you something now. It's important, so listen closely. This place, this vault, it's not perfect, I know. But it is your home. You're safe here. Stay on the Overseer's good side, and you always will be. You understand? You need to appreciate all you have. Because what's up there, on the outside, that's not the life I want for you. And it's not what your mother wanted for you either.
Is it true, Dad? Was everyone born in the vault?
That's what the Overseer says, isn't it? He's not about to let anyone else in, so I guess that's how it'll have to be. You're here now, and it's a hell of a lot better than being up there. All your mother and I ever wanted was for you to be safe, and you're safe here.
Can we talk about, Mom?
Your mother, she was beautiful. But beyond the beauty you've seen. There's just so much those old photos can never show. And she was passionate. About life, about love. But most of all, she was passionate about you. When she became pregnant, it was the happiest I had ever seen her. She had great things in mind for you. And so, time for you to stop stalling and get to class. Please, son, please, take these achievement tests seriously. The last thing I need is your mother's ghost haunting me because her only child became a garbage burner.
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
Take care, son.
Okay. That's funny. This instant snapping in is sort of bothering me right now. Medicine bobblehead. There's a hat on it. I don't think that was there originally. Mod thing, I guess. Some x-rays here. I don't think there are anything wrong with these, but if anyone has any medical knowledge, that maybe you could chime in that regard. Jonas here, stopping by.
I I'd just like to keep an eye on it.
You better stay away. I don't
I'll
want
have
you
my
to catch
report
what
ready
I've
this
got.
afternoon.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
fair
Let
enough.
me know if there are any changes.
Get out of my way, you stupid tunnel snakes!
I can show you a real tunnel snake, Amata.
God, Butch, why don't you just leave me alone?
Let's go
What are
into
you
the
gonna do,
storeroom, Amata.
Go
I'll
run
show
and
you a
tell
nice
your daddy
time.
on us?
Jesus Christ.
Back off,
What
Butch!
seems to be the trouble today?
Look, I'm not looking to rumble with you. How about we just stay out of each other's business, like usual?
So, Butch canonically, at this point, is afraid of us. Yet the only real piece of dialogue that would, like, initiate that is based on our, our age 10 sequence. So telling him to soak his head is connecting somehow to him now being afraid of tumbling with us, which sort of makes sense, but I would like to flavor it as him knowing that if he messes with Gideon, then Gideon is going to find a way to get back at him, like, consistently, and is very good at doing so. Tunnel snakes? Are you guys some kind of gang? Is that it?
Only the baddest gang in Vault 101? Like you don't know. We rule this vault, and what we say goes. You'll stay out of our way if you know what's good for you.
I will say, it is very impressive that they managed to find 3 leather jackets in good condition, all from, like, the same, like, pre-war, probably, biker gang. What exactly is going on here?
None of your business, kid. Get out of here before you get hurt. If you mess with the tunnel snakes, you're asking for it. Got me?
Okay. We do have the Fallout New Vegas style speech check, so instead of rolling for a chance at success, we just need the speech. We need 7 charisma in order to complete this, to get that speech up to 21 and succeed. That's mean. Leave her alone, Butch. You know what will happen.
Whoa! Take it easy. No need to go all psycho on me again. We were just joking with her. Come on, tunnel snakes. This little bitch isn't worth our time. Whatever you say, Butch. You're the boss.
It's the lights.
Tunnel snakes
They
rule.
hurt my eyes.
Fine, let's
That's
go.
still bothering you.
Thanks for getting rid of them. Assholes. I don't know why they won't leave me alone. Just because my father's the overseer, I guess? Idiots.
Yeah.
I can run a few more tests if you like.
Yes,
Take a
I think
sip
I
of
like
water.
that. Will it take long?
It's the little things.
Well, you made it. All set for the GOAT? Trust me, it really isn't that bad. Just something everybody has to go through.
Oh, I'm feeling kind of sick, Mr. B. I guess I'll have to reschedule.
Didn't work on your dad either, did it? Now, unless you have something else you want to discuss, take a seat and prepare for the 2274 edition of the GOAT.
A gripe about Fallout 3's dialogue. We have extremes here. It likes to work in extremes, and sometimes it's hard to avoid because they base the response dialogue, how the NPC responds to what you pick as an option, based quite specifically often on the actual written option itself. You can't say, "Sure, I'm ready. I bet I'll ace it." You can't reword that in a way that makes sense for your character, which I think is a flaw of the system, because he's going to say something like, indicative of what exactly is written in the menu. But the game does give you an option to skip the GOAT, but I think it's too fun and too much of an opportunity to establish a character to ever skip. So, sure, guess I'm ready. I bet I'll ace it.
I'm sure you will, especially since it's multiple choice with no wrong answer.
See what I mean?
We'll start as soon as everyone's found a seat. Good luck.
Okay.
Let's not keep the overseer waiting.
We could sit here. We'll sit in the front.
Well, now that everyone has managed to find the classroom, we can finally get started. No talking, and keep your eyes to yourselves. Yes, I'm talking
That's
to you,
Snork.
Mr. Deloria.
Sure thing, Mr. Brotch.
Unless anyone else has an insightful comment, let's get started.
This reminds me of, like,
Question 1.
9th grade history class.
Runs up to you and yells, "I'm going to put my quantum harmonizer in your photonic resonation chamber." What's your response?
Okay. This is the meat of why I do not want to skip Vault 101, the GOAT. It's too good. It's too good. There's obvious innuendo in that comment. Gideon would probably know that that this statement would cause this outcome, or this is just like some sort of joke or something, joke response, as if like the science doesn't actually exist. But if he did know, then that's something that he could say, but he probably wouldn't want to. Yeah, up yours too, buddy? Yeah, that'd be funny. He might say that. He wouldn't grab a pipe and knock him out. It might be a little extreme. He probably wouldn't slip out either. He'd probably find this as a great opportunity to get a good laugh in. So, yeah, up yours too, buddy.
Question 2. While working as an intern in the clinic, a patient with a strange infection in his foot stumbles through the door. The infection is spreading at an alarming rate, but the doctor stepped out for a while. What do you do?
Okay. Infection. Amputation is a possibility. However, he might be smart enough to realize that might not be the best option. At least for now. That might be like the last, the end scenario, basically. He's not going to scream. He might be stressed out, but he's not going to scream for help. Medication is probably the most reasonable option. He wouldn't take the psychopath, weird child that probably eats hamsters option. He would try to medicate. He would be sort of a schemer, prankster, sort of relaxed, lackadaisical attitude up until the point where shit actually starts to go down. So he'd medicate.
Question 3. You discover a young boy lost in the lower levels of the vault. He's hungry and frightened, but also appears to be in possession of stolen property. What do you do?
So this question implies that the vault is actually big enough to get lost in. Which, for a small child, I guess, but... So this either implies it's a very small child, and the vault is big enough that you can get lost in, and someone will not find you. What do you do? Give the boy a hug. He might have a soft spot for children. You wouldn't confiscate it and leave him there. You wouldn't steal it and leave him to be lost in the vault. Nah, he wouldn't turn him in. Nah. He'd give him a hug and probably lead him to safety after that.
Question 4. Congratulations. You've made one of the Vault 101 baseball teams. Which position do you prefer?
Pitcher? Maybe. Catcher? I think he'd find that kind of lame, honestly. Just sitting there. Designated hitter. Now, I think he might like that, honestly. Or none, you wish the Vault had a soccer team. He is definitely tempted to pick that just to be a goof. He is 16 and currently not possessing much maturity as of yet. Responsibility, maybe. Maturity, no. And he would realize, but he would realize that this is presumably a life-changing test, so he'd pick the stuff most applicable to himself. He'd choose designated hitter.
Question 5. Your grandmother invites you to tea, but you're surprised when she gives you a pistol and orders you to kill another vault resident. What do you do?
Now, I think the mod might have changed some things. In Fallout 3, not New Vegas, in Fallout 3 specifically, there was a small gun skill and a big gun skill. In Fallout New Vegas, it's just the gun skill. Now, one of these options I remember being asking your grandmother for a minigun instead. Now, he wouldn't pick that option, but I think it was worth it to note. He would not straight up murk someone just at the request of his grandmother. He'd probably realize she's not right in the head. Offer your most prized possession for the resident's life. Would he have anything for her? I doubt it. I doubt he would even try that option. Ask Granny for cyanide to cook into the resident's meal instead. Methodology says that that's closer, but he still would not kill someone out of the blue. So out of the lack of anything else, he would throw tea in Granny's face.
Question 6. Old Mr. Abernathy is locked himself.
Oh, Mr. Abernathy.
And you've been ordered to get him out. How do you proceed?
Okay. Alright, here we go. You can use a bobby pin to pick the lock on the door. Kinda boring. Kinda boring, but effective. Try to vault hoodlum, presumably Butch or one of the others, for his cherry bomb and blow the door open. If you guys know Germanite 5 and like how he laughs every single time at like a car accident, I sort of imagine Gideon doing the exact same thing for explosions. So I think that'd be fitting. This is an explosives character after all. Basically chemist-esque in the future, leaning towards pyrotechnician, although not necessarily a useful type of engineering in the vault. Go into the armory, retrieve a laser pistol, and shoot the lock off. Also cool. He would be very tempted, but he only gets to probably shoot the pistol once. And compared to blowing the door straight open, he might not find the laser pistol as cool. And he would not let an old man rot in his quarters, so he'd blow the lock open.
Question 7. Oh no, you've been exposed to radiation, and a mutated hand has grown out of your stomach. What's the best course of treatment?
Now, he probably realizes the ridiculousness of this question, in being the gifted child that he is in science and such. However, in the context of the question, he might find this actually really cool. A really cool concept, trying to figure out the actual outcome this would have, the like conundrums he would face, the actual use of the arm. Would he even want to get rid of it in the first place if it's actually useful? However, the question calls for its removal, and so he would choose the best option in that regard. He would not kill himself, because again, he would find it very interesting. He probably read some comic books, like as a child, of this sort of thing happening. You know, collecting those, finding them wherever he can. That or like holotapes or whatever. Large dose of anti-mutagen agent, very reasonable. Prayer. Now, this is a good response here. Our father is Christian or Catholic, I believe, or Protestant, maybe. So it would naturally follow that maybe Gideon would be religious. I think he would be. Maybe not to the degree of his dad or his mom, but there's probably some belief in there somewhere. Removal of mutated tissue with a precision laser. That would hurt. Probably. Oh, the best course of treatment. He's not doing it on himself. Presumably, so it would be basically his dad doing it. So he'd trust him with the laser. The bottom three. It's between one of those. I don't think he likes the wording of the third one, even if he might actually, like, pray, depending on how bad it gets. So I think he'd choose the anti-mutagen.
Question 8. A fellow Vault 101 resident is in possession of Grognak the Barbarian comic book.
Immediate attention.
You want it. What's the best way to obtain it?
All right, that is gold to him. He probably still likes them, not to even read, but to, like, collect. Like, nostalgia value. Trade, reasonable. Steal, at gunpoint. He doesn't want to go to jail. Sneak into the residence quarters and steal. That would probably be more his speed, yeah. Being sneaky and sort. Slip some knockout drops into the resident's Nuka-Cola and take the comic book while he's unconscious. Now, that can imply him actively sneaking in to their room and slipping in some knockout drops into their Nuka-Cola. And basically that just adding another step to the scheme. And I think he would find that more interesting than just stealing it. Yeah, I think he'll choose the last one.
Question 9. You decide it would be fun to play a prank on your father. You enter his private restroom when no one is looking and...
Okay, a prank. Loosen the bolts on some pipes. When the sink is turned on, the restroom will flood. It is a prank. He would probably hate the sentiment, since it is his father, of maybe having to clean that up. Especially if he figures out it's... yeah. Also, it would probably stink pretty bad. And just make a whole mess that doesn't need to be there. So he's not going to do that. Put a firecracker in the toilet. Probably, yeah. Break into the locked medicine cabinet and replace his high blood pressure medication with sugar pills. That's how you kill someone. So, no. Manipulate the power wattage on his razor so he'll get an electric shock the next time he shaves. Cool, but not as cool as the firecracker.
Question 10. Who is indisputably the most important person in Vault 101? He who shelters us from the harshness of the atomic wasteland, and to whom we owe everything we have, including our lives.
He'll choose the last option.
Pencils down, people. That's it. The infamous G.O.A.T. I'm sure most of you didn't find it so bad. Others, well, there are always openings in the maintenance department. Don't forget to hand in your test before you leave. You don't want to know what happens to people who fail the G.O.A.T.
Garbage collection, presumably.
To celebrate,
look at our character here.
As the situation warrants.
That actually looks pretty close to me. Okay. We're gonna talk to him first, because if we don't...
It says here you're going to be the Vault's marriage counselor. Almost makes me want to get married, just to be able to avail myself of your services.
The first time I chose these responses, I was so thrown off because I didn't even know that was an option. It didn't seem like... It seemed very out of place in this sort of setting, but... Yeah. It's pretty funny to me. The reason why I wanted to talk to Mr. Broch before he even sat down is because if any other student walks up and starts to talk to him, you have to wait until all of them finish and get their results before you can get yours. So this is really the best. He'd probably want to dip in, give him his paper, and get out. He might not find it ideal to be a marriage counselor. Whatever. I just answered randomly. Is that how you got stuck with your job?
Ha! Closer to reality than you might think. Listen, I was just as obnoxious at your age. I didn't take the goat seriously, and look where I ended up. Just between you and me. The whole test is a joke. If you don't like the results, I can make your goat come out any way you want. Just let me know.
This guy reminds me so much of my 9th grade history teacher. It's actually kind of crazy. He was a G. He was a G. Best teacher in high school, honestly. Or pretty close, at least. But we had explosives, medicine, and speech, I think? Yeah. Those were the ones we got from those responses. The skills you get are based on the responses. Like, obviously, stuff like the cherry bomb are going to give you explosives. They tally up your answers and, like, sort of weigh them that way. Sort of like a BuzzFeed personality quiz, but, you know, for Fallout. We are an explosive character. We do enjoy the old bang bang. We are a schemer, so we'll be sneaking around a lot. Definitely. Now, the last one is up to interpretation. Basically, he is canonically filling out the form to be like a chemist. So he can work alongside his dad and do something mentally engaging, but not necessarily physically exhaustive. He would want to have a little bit of prestige when it comes to the vault, and a chemist would probably be pretty up there in terms of status, shall we say. So naturally that would be one between medicine or speech. However, that we already have explosives, and that would be his like leaning to, because like he'd be decent at, you know, chemistry from naturally being intelligent. He would still be in training by the time we're leaving the vault, so his other skills wouldn't be so high. That being said, I think he might lean into mechanics a bit more as well. Just for the sake of like maybe as a side interest, maybe in like actually making test explosives under the radar. He would likely, that would possibly be a misdemeanor or something of the like to use an explosive in the vault, as long as it didn't hurt anybody. If it hurt someone, it'd probably be like a few months in jail or whatever. But for the character outside of the vault, that's like the deciding factor. Outside of the vault, I believe that repair allows us to make some better explosives. Also, it would apply to, you know, using our intelligence to build things. And I think that's a fitting skill to do so. Not that I don't want science and medicine. I'll probably put a few points into those every now and then, because it's fitting. But I think that repair will be a little better for us. One of those small things where a tiny bit of metagaming is not too bad. It's all still justifiable. Take a look at the board here. Crotch the crotch. Yeah. My history teacher would have left that on the board for at least like 10 minutes before wiping it off. Absolute legend.
Wake up! Come on, wake up! come on. You've got to wake up.
Huh? What's wrong, Amado?
You've got to get out of here. Your dad is gone, and my father's men are looking for you.
What do you mean my dad is gone?
He's left the vault. I don't know how, but he's gone. And my father, he's kind of gone crazy.
Dad couldn't have left the vault. That's impossible.
I thought so too, but it's true. He's gone, and Jonas is dead, and now they're looking for you.
Oh. What? Jonas is dead? What the hell's going on?
My father's men think Jonas helped your dad escape. They caught him and brought him to my dad's office, and they... Oh my god.
Oh my god. Are you okay?
Yeah, don't worry about me. I'm just sorry you had to find out like this. I know Jonas was your friend. But we've got to go now. My father's men will be here any minute.
You're right. I can't stay here. But where can I go?
I'm sorry, but I think you'll have to follow your dad. You'll have to escape from the vault. Listen, maybe it isn't any of my business, but didn't your dad tell you that he was leaving?
No, I had no idea he was planning to leave.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure he had his reasons. Maybe Jonas was supposed to explain everything to you? But it doesn't matter. I can help you escape. I have my own plan.
Right, what's your plan?
Listen, there's a secret tunnel that leads directly from my father's office to the exit. You'll have to hack the computer in his office to open it. Use these to get into his office. That's how I always get in.
What makes you think this tunnel won't be guarded? I mean, it could be a trap.
We don't have time for this. Trust me, security doesn't know about the tunnel. Just my father and me. Maybe this pistol I stole from my father will make you feel better. Go ahead, take it. And then let's get out of here.
Okay. Thanks, Amado. I won't use it unless I have to. I promise.
Okay, I'll try to meet you at the exit. Watch out for security. Good luck.
Gun now. I hope that the aiming isn't instant. Okay.
But don't wait.
I'll have to edit some configs or mods or something, but we're gonna loot all the stuff that we can from here. Probably not extra jumpsuits. The utility one we'll take with us. It's probably useful. Okay.
There he is. Hold it right there. Take that, you little buggers.
He'd dip out instead of fighting directly.
You gotta help me! My mom's trapped in there with the rad roaches!
What is with his vampire eyes? Jesus Christ. Okay. He'd be spooked right about now. Fine, let's... Okay. I need to leave, but let's see if we can help her.
No, I can't go back in there. It's dark, and there's rad roaches.
Are you saying you're afraid of the dark? Really?
No, I mean, it's not the dark. It's the rad roaches. I can't stand them. I tried to get back in to get her. I really did. But I couldn't. You gotta help me. She's not gonna last much longer in there. Can't you hear her screaming?
Here, take my BB gun. Just come help.
Wow. Where'd you get that? Okay. Maybe I can do this. All right. I'm gonna go back in there and kill those damn roaches. Thanks.
Oh my god! Someone help me! Get them away from me!
What is with my aim today?
We did it! My mom's gonna be okay. You're the best friend I've ever had, man. Hey, I know it isn't much, but I want you to have my tunnel snake's jacket. Go ahead, take it.
Okay. Gives us our BB gun back too. Take vodka, maybe you can justify it as being some form of disinfectant. It's a little laggy here. See if I can do something about that.
Where do they keep coming from? Filthy little monsters!
Fuck.
I never saw you.
Ah, young sir. How very good to see you again. I do suppose
You're the one everybody's looking for, right? Well, it's none of my business. Your dad always took good care of us.
I'm afraid to
Grab some medical supplies if we're going to be leaving the vault. Bobblehead 2 is a keepsake. These do differ from their use in the perks they grant in Fallout 3. You're now 10% less likely to become addicted to chems. Not great. The framed quote here, but I don't think it's even possible to be able to get that open. Maybe. I don't think so, though.
If you keep turning like that, I'm gonna crack your casing.
We should just go back to our quarters.
It's our only chance, don't you see? We're getting out of here, just like the doctor. I'm not gonna let anyone stop us. It's me, Tom Holden.
Be careful!
Just let me through.
Oh, shit.
Tom! No!
Probably react instinctively right about now, not really thinking about what's going on. And fire back. Damn. She got her arm blown off. He got his leg blown off. Okay. Take a moment to reflect on what just happened. Reach for the ammo. Press on. Grab some of their armor. I am not going to roleplay not fusing the armor together because it's a core game mechanic and that'd be sort of goofy. This is light armor, so we can equip it right away. It's not great armor, but it's certainly better than a jumpsuit. He's not the best shot, but he is quick with his fingers. Quick with his hands, I should say. Those are locked.
This is your fault. You and your stupid father. He had to go and leave, didn't he? He had to mess things up for everybody.
Just move straight past him. Interesting thing to note while we're here is that the roaches were already in the vault. As you might know. We killed one when we were at 10. Got response here. Sees a guy running at him with a baton. It's gonna shoot center mass. But as I was saying, there were rad roaches in here. What? Bruh. Oh no. What? I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back, okay? Let's see if I can fix this. Oh my goodness. Okay, we are back. I enabled a mod that I should have had. It's a basic bug fix mod. But we're back.
I don't know anything.
No problem.
Be reasonable, Amata. Officer Mack may enjoy this, but I don't. Just tell us where to find your friend so we can talk to him.
He's my friend. I was worried about him. What does he have to do with any of this anyway?
Probably nothing, which is why you need to tell me where he is, so I can talk to him. Go ahead, officer.
You need to learn some respect.
Please! Daddy, no!
He would not hesitate. That's his best friend in history, the entire vault.
He's here! Don't let him get away! I hope you're here to turn yourself in, young man. You're already in enough trouble as it is. Don't make it worse for yourself.
If you ever lay a hand on Amada again, I'll make you regret it.
I place the good of the vault above everything, even my own paternal feelings. We must not allow sentiment to cloud our judgment. But I admire your protective instincts. Very well. I give you my word that Amada will not suffer further because of your actions. Now then, if you really care about Amada, you will see how dangerous your father's actions were. Hand over your weapons, and put an end to this dangerous situation. There is no need to join your father as a traitor to the vault.
He's not going to surrender. Under no circumstances should you surrender your weapons to the guy that killed your father and is trying to establish martial law in the vault, including through the use of lethal force. My father's no traitor, but you're a murderer and a thug.
Let's let history be the judge of that. If you had paid attention to Mr. Broch, you'd understand that history is invariably written by the victor. And I intend to be the victor. You won't survive the night. Gods help me!
He is, he gives off pretty big fascist vibes, despite not being all that effective at it. We'll just run through and get as much supplies as we can. Not armor. Wouldn't make sense to grab all that. The ammo would be easy to pick up in a box. Let's move. You see Jonas dead on the ground. Amada said, I believe, that he was beaten to death, so, yeah, he's probably around 90 degrees at the moment. Sort of lukewarm to the touch. Check his pockets for anything. There's a note from Dad. He'd take the eyeglasses as a keepsake. His glasses. For anything else, real quick. I don't think he'd read that note right now. He wouldn't think there's much time.
Thank you! I told you my father wasn't himself. I don't know what he might have done if you hadn't come along. You'd better get out of here. I'll try to meet you at the vault door. If I don't make it, good luck.
Right. Pick the lock. I think you can have too low of a lockpicking skill to get this open. I could be wrong. Check for supplies. That's a lot of ammo. Medical supplies, stimpats, medtats. Password. Okay. Security dossier. Tunnel snakes, you wouldn't care. Beatrice, you wouldn't care. Jonas. Oh, you can read that. You can read this if you want, but I'm just going to paraphrase. I never should have assigned Jonas as James' assistant. Too idealistic for his own good. James fills Jonas's head with idealistic nonsense. Considered reassigning him, but that would be a waste of resources. Amada. Okay. Okay. She has grown into a fine young woman. He is sad that she's alienating him. He seems quite mad that she's doing this, despite him raising her a bone. Security reports. Immediate vicinity of the vault is no longer dangerously irradiated, although background radiation is still above safe levels. There are more intense pockets of surface radiation. Water is undrinkable. Need ample supplies of Radex. The suits do not seem to be necessary for general exploration. That's reassuring. Old maps are useless. Nearby town is in ruin. All roads have disappeared or are no longer passable. Mysterious ants. Confirming a theory of mutation due to radiation. I don't see how that'd really be a theory, considering how much damage radiation does to DNA. Drove off ants with gunfire, also reassuring. Human civilization survives. Nearby settlement known as Megaton. Wary at first, but then welcomed to the town. Okay, reassuring. Talk about the Capital Wasteland, the area around Washington, D.C. He probably heard of. Like, he'd very well know about Washington, D.C. Megaton is a outpost of civilization. The giant ants are the least of their dangers. Lewis and Agnes remained in Megaton to serve as ambassadors and collect information until we return. That was, oh god, 36 years ago? Quite a while. It doesn't seem to be another report. You have Exhibit A. You would probably recognize immediately, at least based on the shadow, which is not really seen on here, that is a very large ant. Exhibit B, the curve Megaton. Voltec instructions. Wait. Scouting, yeah, Voltec instructions. Scientific entry. You probably wouldn't look at the letter with the attachment, but the GEC, whatever that is, would interest him. Most advanced piece of technology ever developed by Voltec. Terraforming module capable of creating life from complete lifelessness, which goes against all known scientific theory about the evolution of life. At least proto-life, shall we say. Storm. They can activate a GEC to create a new earthen paradise. Not every vault is equipped with a Voltec nodule. And we did not receive one. Now, Gideon would not know this. But in Fallout 2, there is a settlement. I think it's Vault 13? Could be wrong in the exact number. It might be 17 or 16 or something. But the point is, there is a vault out there which had a GEC and used it and like instantly became like a paradise. No crime, none of that. The one problem was that it turned quite authoritative quite quickly as they expanded out of the vault. Or it had always been that way. We can open the Overseer's Tunnel. Can't waste any more time. Yeah, quite dramatic. Not gonna close it behind us. Monitor behind us. Getting pretty decent with this gun. There's the panel. Take a look at it. Some sort of radiation gauge or maybe power gauge. Light indicator, probably for activation. Volume controls of some sort. And a primary leveler.
He's opening the vault door. Get the Overseer. We need this door open now.
Oh my god. You actually opened it.
Oh. Is there a rocky tunnel ahead of us?
You did it! You opened the door! My god, I almost didn't believe it was possible.
I couldn't have done it without your help. You warning me and waking me up.
No, you didn't need me. If anyone can survive out there, it's you.
It's not safe here anymore. Why don't you come with me? You can look for my dad.
It's tempting, but my place is here. The vault needs me more than you do. I'm the only one who has a chance to talk some sense into my father. Listen, if you do catch up with your dad, tell him I'm sorry for you know, Jonas and my father and everything. Goodbye.
I knew you'd turn up
Oh,
sooner
shit.
or later. Hold it right there. I'm not going out there. I don't care what the overseer says. Quick,
Yeah, they don't
close
want
the
to
door.
leave. Probably stare them down for a bit.
Hold it right there. I knew you'd turn up
He's
sooner or later. Quick, close the door.
they're trying to feint.
I'm not going out there.
Get us away.
The overseer says.
This terminal should not be there. Ignore it. It's part of some mod. Probably Two Wasteland.
There he is. Stop in the name of the overseer.
Probably back up a bit slowly. His eyes straining from the light at the end of the tunnel. They close the door behind him. From what he might know about the engineering of the door, or at least those sorts of mechanisms that they have in the vault, it might not be out of his knowledge to understand that if they close the door and they don't want you back in, there's a good chance you're not getting back in. Okay, I'm going to save it here, just so I can have a quick access point to leave the vault from. We have the option to change our everything about our character, really. I'm not going to edit tag skills. There is a strategy you can use where if you pick skilled at the start of the game, and the trait, the skill trait, and then you get to this point where you can edit your character, you can pick skilled again and get double the bonus without incurring an additional penalty. Something to note if you want to cheese. But I think everything else works normally. Let's exit. And we will be turning hardcore mode on. Personal preference. What did I say about that blindness? Ooh. All right. Not gonna have any of the weapon packs. It would not make sense to just manifest gear out of midair. Our frames are not looking good at the moment, but that is a known problem with Tale of Two Wastelands, that it's very hard to get a good FPS without a very good computer. There's the Gamebryo engine used in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. It has a hard time loading one of the games and running well, let alone both of them at once and same mods. But look off into the distance as all of these pop in and load. I'm gonna save after this so we don't have to see it next time. LOD's not looking great, but that's Fallout 3 jank. We can see Megaton over there. Identify that big old scrap heap, probably from the crow's nest. You can see the Washington Monument and the Capitol Building, if I'm correct. I think it's the Capitol Building. And see what appears to be the ruins of Springvale. They're there. Small town, completely wiped out, burnt to a crisp. Yeah, not looking great. As, suppose Gideon will reflect on this environment and really take it all in. Suppose that is where we will end this session / episode or whatever. I'll probably just go straight into the next one. start recording there. I'm getting a little excited here. But regardless, I will see you next time, whenever that might be.